I can't stand the globalists. The goblins hate 1776. George Soros, the Saruman of Middle-earth, has a gay son.
You're late.
A wizard is never late, Tucker Baggins. He arrives precisely when his globalist research is concluded. Ha 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 ha!
There are markings, Jonesdolf. Looks like some globalist BS, but I can't read it.
The language is that of the Bilderberg Group, which I will not utter here.
Bilderberg?
In the common tongue, it says, you will own nothing and be happy. Your country will be flooded with rapists from Mordor. We hate Jesus. And we're going to cut off your son's Johnson. It blows. But long story short, these demons hate everything about us because we're such great guys. We don't know who has the other seeing stones, you stupid son of a bitch.
The hour is later than you think. The 9 have left Minas Morgul. Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, and others are riding to the Shire as we speak.
Go fuck yourself.
They will cancel the ring bearer and have him demonetized on YouTube.
Tucker!
"1776 2.0 is over, friend.
We're not friends, and your son is a faggot.
Give us Tucker Katarlson Baggins.
If you, want him, then maybe come claim him.
I need an out pouch.
I'm still relevant.
America first, 1776. America first, 1776. America first, 1776. America first, 1776. America first, 1776.
Not to be rude, but I'm still waiting on that nicotine pouch.
Listen, bro, we did what Jonesdolf told us to. We brought the ring to Elon Rond, and now we can go back to talking about chimps and jujitsu.
Maybe you're right. Chimps are strong and fun to talk about.
So fucking strong, dude. So fucking strong.
His strength returns.
Elon Ron, I have a personal question for you. Just friend to a friend, leader to a leader. Are you on the spectrum?
You know, I very well could be.
Well, might I then suggest that we fucking use it?
Hey guys, welcome to the program. What the hell is going on with Alex Jones? That's one of the things we're going to talk about. I just want to get your opinion. I'm not offering one. I'm asking for one. And that's part of what we're going to talk about. By the way, I introduced a new series. It's just a narrated series. You know, one of the things I think we need to do is figure out, we've all been in this mess together for a very long time as humans. And before all this hyphenated bullcrap, before they divided everybody, right? I think it's important to get back to the fact that we've all been here. And so I'm covering the Great Deluge story. You know it as Noah's Flood. And there's well over 2,000. I'm committed to narrating 200 of those that I think you'll find interesting. But the first one we released was the Great Deluge story, the Greek retelling. And then I just recently released the Mesopotamian retelling. I think in listening to these, you might see some of the commonalities and some of the things that's very interesting. Remote civilizations, remote people, different languages, different cultures that were never exposed, quote unquote, to the West, all have the same great deluge myth, great deluge story, that something happened, man was wiped out, certain men were chosen to repopulate. It's interesting. So if you want to follow along with this series, keep watching. You'll see them pop up on all my social media very shortly, right? Very shortly. You will see it literally on my locals. That's where you'll find it, which I'm doing another series over on my locals as well. That series is everything you need to know about Islam, telling you the story, going from the very beginning. How did all of this religion, cult, whatever you want to call it, come about? Who are the players? Who are the people? Why is it? I think it's a pretty interesting story to follow. You might want to follow along. Anyway, today's program is brought to you by the fine folks at Gold Cove. Yep. It's real simple. Here's all I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you just to go to jovanlovesgold.com. Request your free gold and silver kit today, because now is the time to protect your money with gold and silver. I just want you to get yourself educated at the minimal. The digital changeover's coming. Many are saying there's going to be a huge adjustment. The last number I heard was 32%. That means for every dollar you have, they're going to claim for the world to do this, it has to be done. Everybody's going to give up 32% of each dollar they have. I'm warning you. And that's part of the crap, culture, race, and American politics that's going on. And I just want you to be awake and to be aware. That is also why I've been telling you this for years. You've got to understand how to deal with your food supply. That's why I wrote the Food Forest Bible. I don't want you to think that this is something slack. It's basically biblical way to plan. It's the way it's been done for over 4,000 years. Imagine one garden being planned, then planted, and it has been feeding a community over in the Middle East for 4,000 years. That's what's in this. This is an encyclopedia, folks. This is not something small and minor. And people says, oh, it's so expensive. And well, there's a lot of high-def art in it, like this particular one. Like if we were looking at this, solitary bees, you have to understand why they were made, what to do in the garden, because they're there as God made them to get rid of the pests that eat your food crops. So you don't have to use pesticides. I just want you to be aware that this one I put out with an ebook and it got cloned. That means somebody bought it, they cracked the coating on it, and copied as much out of it as they want. It's not at all what this book is, but you see what they did with the covers and everything else, right? Just make sure my name's on it. I did the same thing for you in the fruit realm, right? The same thing. And it's basically a very simple genetic hack you can do that will make your fruit trees that you have and plant begin to immediately produce in the first season instead of waiting 4, 5, 6, 7 years, whatever the case may be. And it's about the specific styles, the ancient styles of the way that this used to be done. I'll show you this, some of the beautiful color pictures in it. That's called a spelure. See how those trees are designed? And that's why it's small spaces. Instead of thinking about a round tree and everything has to compete for sunshine, it's a way of grooming, in a good way, the tree flat, and you can do it against walls, fences, etc. By the way, it increases your property values sometimes up to 13%. That's what this one is. And then for people that don't want to dig, don't want to weed or whatever the case may be, we've got the No dig, no weeding. There it is right there. No dig gardening. Very simple. But I do them in hardbounds, folks. But I'm telling you, you're going to have to get control of your food supply. A few things are going on. Oregon's making the move right now. They're eliminating the bill's written, the bill's been introduced to eliminate fishing for people, to eliminate hunting for people, and then you cannot, it's called the Peace Bill, you cannot raise your own food where you have to butcher it. It's going to make it illegal. It's going to make it illegal. And K, you can clone a willow the same way. Willow is one of the easiest ones to clone, but willow doesn't necessarily require the full cloning process because you can just cut them and stick them in the ground. But yes, you can. So that's going on. And as you see these states doing it, it's getting more and more and more and more and more. They've even begun to outlaw sellers of seeds. You know, people keep heirloom vegetables. You know, we have thousands of different vegetables. And I'll do another special on this coming up, but I just want to mention it because it's this time of year when you're thinking about things. Thousands of vegetables. They're whittled down to just a few for commercial purposes. Corporations promote those and try to kill everything else. Pretty soon, there's going to be a problem, and we're well into it. Last but not least, just kind of a heads up. We're about to head in to our Easter holiday. For the next few days, I won't be broadcasting live. You'll see marathons of my content. I just need to take some time to get my hands in the dirt, catch up on a lot of things. And unfortunately, while on the air yesterday, as soon as I came out of the studio and stuff, I got notified that at one of our places that one of the neighbor's wives found her husband deceased in bed. Poor guy just turned 57. You know, just it's just not. So I'm going to take some time just to reconnect and ground and get some things done. Everything is about trying to control everything out there. You've got to get to the point that you're exercising control in your life. And that's part of what we'll talk about today. So we're going to talk about what the hell is going on with Alex Jones. It's kind of getting weird. Share this program. We'll get started right after this.
Rennie Good was a gifted soul, a writer and a poet and a mother, wow. She tried to hit an agent with her car, oh no. Pop motherfucker, now she's gone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Being a fucking liberal is a mental disease. Blue-haired unfuckables with the septum ring. You are not a hero, you're a fucking disease. You fuck around and find out it's what it is. Jeffrey Pretty was a Jewish homo. Started talking shit to protect a chomo. He was getting nicked when he pulled a gun. Bam, motherfucker, now you're gone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Being a fucking liberal is a mental disease. Blue-haired unfuckables with a septum ring. You are not a hero, you're a fucking disease. Fuck around and find out what that is.
Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County Full Forensic Audit Archives survive.
Warning. The following program has been rated Dilligaff and is intended for open-minded audiences. If the truth offends you, or if you are allergic to focused intensity, intellectual athleticism, or the occasional F-bomb or even irreverent humor, please switch off now. If your delicate sensibilities need to be worried about or addressed, might we recommend the Underwater Basket Weaving channel to you? Otherwise, sit back, enjoy the wisdom, insight, and wicked sense of humor.
Cut the crap. How many times a day do you want to say that to politicians, the elite, the loony liberals, the fake news media, and the gender-confused, emotional socialist snowflake crowd? Cut the crap is your secret weapon for fighting for our freedoms and our great republic. It all begins with a massive mental enema, freeing you from the toxic news and politically correct views, which constipate your consciousness with stinking thinking. Your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer. He's known for calling out politicians and telling them to cut the crap. You've seen him on virtually every television network and listened to him on Coast to Coast Radio. And now he's here to help you learn to fight for America. Culture, race, and American politics. They all have one thing in common. They all need to cut the crap. Now, here's your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer.
Okay, folks, welcome to The Crap. The crap we're going to talk about in this episode, crap, culture, race, and American politics. By the way, give me the finger, please. I'm begging you, give me the finger. If you want, use 2, 3, 4 fingers, doesn't matter. Give me the fingers and share this program. So people can learn what's going on. You know, I got an email yesterday, just kind of a point of reference when I make stupid ass jokes like that. Give him the finger. Yes, it's a double entendre, but that's the point. Somebody was kind of correcting me. I love your stuff, but you're in the windows or whatever. I'm amazed that people tune into a program, can acknowledge the education coming from it, and then complain. I'm me. And if the truth be known, I use humor to cope. Right? I do. Honestly, I use humor to cope. Because if I just let it all out, told you everything that goes on, who's really rat bastards and all that other stuff, it would devastate you. It would. It would absolutely devastate you. And in my world, behind the scenes, I get threatened all the time and kind of understand who the players are and whatever. And so, yeah, I use humor. My humor's off. I think that's from so many years of late night TV, by the way. But that's who I am. The one thing I can promise you is I will never try to be something or package myself as something that I'm not, truly not. I don't possess that ability, right? I just don't possess that ability. And so there it is. People can weaponize it. I sit back sometimes soberly when I make a stupid joke like that, and I can realize people will get turned off. And then you realize a certain amount of people will click off. From a philosophical level, when I think about that, here's what I see in my mind. That's why I say at the beginning of the program, by the way, if you don't know what Dilligaff is, the following program is rated Dilligaff. Dilligaff, do I look like I give a fuck? That's what that means. Do I look like I give a fuck? Because I look at this, right? I look at this, And people perceive they're being righteous. They're being honorable. I'm being great. I sit back and look at it, and I see the methodology by which the system captured us. And all they really needed to do is realize, put a few people on street corners and use cuss words, and you'll go, oh, and exit stage right. That's what it is. So when I get emails over that, right, I actually think, do you actually realize you are giving power to evil by putting down in writing, oh, I found that offensive and I just can't watch you? You just told evil, I am such a fragile warrior. All you got to do is say something I don't like, and I'm gone. Isn't that interesting? And so I don't know why I decided to address that. It just kind of popped up because somebody in email, and believe me, I think about these times, right? I think about these things, and that's why I laugh. That's why I laugh. I truly think if I didn't have a sense of humor, I think I'd explode. It's also a way I disarm a room. And it's also a way I apply a very fast measurement standard to a room. I can walk into a conference room meeting with people. We'll say big names. I'll be goofy and funny, see people laugh, but I always see the people go. And I immediately know who the least effective person is in the room. So for me, I use it as a disqualification tool too. It's a great way to eliminate people around you that are not warriors, that aren't really a warrior, right? It is the fastest way to get rid of the chaff, because we live in a world, for me, where I don't want, oh, that was so rude. I want, let's go kick some fucking ass. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Right? And so, literally, I've been known for this my entire career, and I've used it so successfully. I will find so fast a person's character and sort out the weakest mind in the room instantly. And I use my humor to do it. Sometimes, just inappropriate humor or whatever. And I watch and I observe. Because here's what I know. If somebody will get offended by a word, they're weak. If somebody will get offended by a word and immediately go to that, well, that's not Christian, that's whatever. I understand that's the first person that, if we really got in the foxhole, will shoot me in the back, will serve me up on a platter to protect their ass. You should think about that in your life. You really should. And in many ways, the things you see right now with Islam and stuff, saying you accept our religion or our ways or die, is the same exact thing the left is saying, you accept our way or you need to be put in concentration camps, right? Or you're not fit to live. It's all the same thing. Just a piece. I have never, ever yet met a person we'll call of faith that constantly has to tell you how godly they are, how much they love Jesus, how much they pray, and have to tell you that ever walks that walk, ever. Now, I've met many of people who are very godly and very devout that never tell you, accept you for who you are, work side by side with you, then you find out a little bit of tidbits, and then you work because you respect them in that individual capacity. If they're not trying to rule or control you, and just try to move through. The pretenders abound. The pretenders abound. And it's tiring. It's just like right now with the Pope calling out President Trump, saying, quote unquote, he's not godly or whatever because he's making war. You got to understand, we have a Pope that doesn't even understand biblical history. Isn't that wild? Just like we have Supreme Court justices who swear they can't tell you what a woman is because they're not a biologist. For me, that means anything that goes to the Supreme Court that has to do with medicine, has to do with human anatomy. Think about this. Any case that goes to the Supreme Court, pay attention carefully, and it has to do with anything medicine, anything with biology, anything with biological impact, anything regarding women's rights, that Supreme Court justice must be recused. Do you know why? She admitted, I'm not a biologist, I can't judge on it. And she admitted, I don't even know what a woman is. I want you to think about that. See, we can accept her, Kootenai Brown or whatever her name is, we can literally accept her at her words. Legally, at the Supreme Court level, because of her stance on politics, she actually created a loophole that she literally cannot exercise judgment on a topic. Think about that. And that's where politics and doing things for political reasons have consequences. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today is consequences. You know, where we are, we're all in this stuff together, folks. Every one of us are in this stuff together. Right? Now, when I say in this stuff together, whether you like it or not, we are tied at the hip. And if one side goes down, we all go down. You understand that too, right? Have you ever thought about that? I think about that quite a bit. Wave a wand and all extreme liberals are gone. Wave a wand and all radical Muslims are gone. Well, let's just take the extreme liberals. Do you know how many things in this country would crash overnight, would ground to a halt, banking and otherwise? And it would take so long to get the engine back up, right? That all of us would suffer greatly. It's even like if we just get rid of Pelosi and Hillary and that, but I think the next crop is even more dangerous. I've thought about this one a lot too. I know you fantasize about this stuff. We just get rid of all these fucking liberals. Just get rid of these liberals, right? Pelosi's and Shivs and Swallowswell and just all these rat bastards. Well, see, here's an interesting, sobering reality. Those people know, I guarantee you, those people know they're wrong. They know America is great. They know we have the greatest system in the world. but they're basically ethically they're compromised and they get paid and they do this because it's worth the money. The next crop that's coming up, they know no different. They actually are far enough back or early enough in the generation that they actually believe this shit. Now, here's where it gets dangerous. Ready? I think the old guys, that's why you can hear them say, oh, we can't have illegals here, and you'll see something 30 years in the future. Well, we got to have the illegals. All of those guys got bought off. But the young crop of ones, they believe they are ethically, morally, faithfully correct. And you know what? They don't have to be bought off anymore because they believe it. You don't have to buy off people that are ardent, fervent believers speaking what they believe is their truth. They don't have to be bought off anymore. So yeah, you see all this money go through the system, right? And the new guys that come up, they just believe it. Isn't it weird? That's the conundrum we live in today. Let me tell you what I'm talking about in Alex. And I saw somebody in chat saying, we're great Alex followers or whatever the case may be. This is not a critique of Alex. So get your shit together and understand what I'm saying before you jump the gun. This is a question. You see that question mark on the end? What the hell is going on with Alex Jones? I'm not giving you an opinion. I'm asking you for your opinion. Let me tell you some of the things going on. Alex Jones is now actively saying it's time to cut bait on Trump because the president is in a free fall. And I'm amazed that people can't see how coordinated this is. You're hearing it in a lot of places, and they're kind of steadily ramping it up. But on the right, this is going on just like this.
Extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
By the way, thank you for that tip. And you can always send me an idea for a program. And if it's not something that I'm in tune with, I'll just tell you, let me research and see if something's there. You can always send me ideas. What's going on right now in Conservative Inc. is the same type of parroting. I can tell you, I believe without a shadow of a doubt, that I now know where all of it's coming from. And I now know the parties that are responsible and behind it. Not to the point I'm ready to talk about it or anything, because I'm going to deal in hardcore facts. But I think what's going on with Alex and other people, you got people who are paid to do it, right? People who are paid to do it. And then people who follow it in clickbait. And I'll give you a good example. If you watched Bannon, I've never been on Bannon, never. I've done a program where I was the host, and we're doing these marathons, and I'm actually the host of it, and Bannon has come on and say, hey, Jovan, how you doing? Great work, whatever. Never been on his show, never been invited on his show. But the word on the street is if you're going to be on Bannon, you're going to pay to be there. Now, I don't kind of think that's reporting in my book. If you're going to cover it, you cover it. The other flip side of the coin is once all this stuff came out with Bannon about the Epstein list and Epstein email, what I noticed really interesting is Bannon's lineup of guests started circulating. You make of it what you want. People I know that are CIA. And they just kind of ran them through. They're not there as CIA, but they are CIA. And they're talking about their own topics or whatever. But that's that whole crowd that got munched through. Right? Somebody says, Jovan, are you bragging or complaining? You got to qualify what you're saying there. Okay? Bragging or complaining? Are you talking about never being on Bannon? Bannon would be nice for the reach. Period. Being on Bannon, does it mean I would support Bannon and I'm a Bannonite? No. It would mean I'm there because I want to reach people with what it is. Same thing on Alex Jones. I keep on hearing, their folks know who I am, want to have me on or whatever. Doesn't happen. I had this conversation the other day with somebody saying, I know Bannon and them, want you on. They said they want you on. And said, or not Bannon, but Alex, you should be on Alex. What do you think's going on? And I finally uttered what I believe. I believe I've never been on Alex for one simple reason. What do you think it is? What do you think the reason someone like me, my background, the whole bit, why I believe I haven't been on? Any guesses? Bannon wants nobody smarter than him. It's not truth. I think it's something else. It's not that he didn't want truth. It's not that. You got it right. Who said that? Slavich? It's because I'm a Jew. That's it. I believe in my heart, looking at it, the reason that Alex has never had me on has nothing to do with me being tough and hard and not being a political guy, not following the party line. I think it all comes down to I'm a Jew. That's it. I'm a Jew. There are good Jews, there are bad Jews. There are good Christians, there are bad Christians. There's good atheists and there's bad atheists. But us as playing the Jew card, am I playing the Jew card? But you understand what I'm saying? You could have an atheist that is a rock solid, great person, parent, and otherwise. The issue you have with an atheist is because the atheist doesn't believe like you. I mean, let's call it out for what it is. Is that okay? You could have a husband and wife team that are incredible parents, providers, rock solid ethics or whatever, right? And them be atheist. So I don't know what you said, Shirley, when you said, no, not really, Jovan. Tell me what you're saying so I understand what you're saying. You got to understand everything is in a delay and from me to you. What you don't know is as I'm talking, you're 20 seconds behind. But I'll give you an example. You individually could judge, that atheist is bad. What are you really doing? What are you really doing? You're making a judgment call from you, one human to another human, that you are saying, well, I can't like them because they don't think like me. You ever thought about that? Which is the same thing BLM says, the same thing Antifa says, the same thing Islam says. Think about that. Many times we never think about that. And people have this wrong idea that if Jesus was back, he'd be hanging out with Christians. No, he wouldn't. Somebody's trying to direct my show. Chief Cop, you want to come on? You can tell me when I go to the story and what I do. I'll send you a link. Let me know if you want me to send you a link. I'll kind of have you up here in the window and you can tell me, cover this, do this, now do this. And so I'm just telling you, when I sit back and look at this, and this topic is the first thing, right? The first thing that I'm talking, so you understand this, is I believe, for me personally, one of the reasons I have never been invited on Alex's program is simply because I'm Jewish. I look for anything else, I can't find it. I look for anything else. He loves controversy. I'm wildly controversial. He loves incredible stats, right? I deal in stats. Don't try to take over my chat with what your topic is. Try to stay on this topic. It's kind of a thing of my program so everybody can learn. And so I think about this, right? And I just think about the things we go through and the things we do and the things we understand and just how all of that works. Now, I don't understand this statement. Alex Jones says it's time to cut bait on Trump because the president is in a free fall. And I could choose to show clips. I'm not going to show clips. You see them. Here it is. Right? Okay. You can call me out for nonsense, surely. Do me a favor. Send me the links. You're totally welcome to call me out saying it's nonsense, but let's go further than a statement and a disagreement of opinion and send me the links. I'd love to watch those interviews, right? That's it. Now, probably at my core, one of the reasons I'm so taboo is because I will call it out. Shirley, you told me he's had on lots of Jews. That's nonsense. So Shirley, you go find those links on that programming. You send me the links in my email to those interviews he did. Let's go. Now, I want to be very careful of what I'm talking about. Yesterday on Democracy Now!, which is on national radio, this is a story here so you understand. They had a pastor on. Okay? I'm going to give you the guy's name. Give me 1 minute. These are the things I think people, right? Hold on 1 second. I just want to make sure I find this, so hang on. Okay? I'm going to give you a screenshot. Okay? Let me try to widescreen it up. Let me try to see if I can get a screenshot. I just want to show you this. Just give me 1 moment. Is that okay? Because this will just help us have this discussion. And I'm using it as an analogy, right? So we do it, right? Etc. Ben Shapiro was on, and so was Isaac Cappy. Okay. I'm talking somebody who can't be bought, somebody that political parties don't give messaging. There's a little bit of a qualification. and somebody who's truly independent, not influenced by that stuff, and will give you their hardcore opinion. I'm sorry, dickhead, too, when you say Shapiro and Cappy. Okay. Little difference. And I haven't noticed dickhead, too, in my program, and so you probably haven't followed me for a long time to understand, but I'll give you an example. I'm gonna ask you a question before we're just going to do a vote on Alex, then we're going to go to other things, because I'm trying to figure it out. So yesterday on public radio, now understand, this radio program goes out to 1,500 radio stations. Now, why would I be listening to public radio? Number one, I find it interesting because I want to know what's going on the left. I don't want to live in a vacuum. The other side of it is I'm in the mountains, and that's all there is. Can't get anything else, right? So they have on Democracy Now!, which is just basically something, hate Trump, hate this, hate America, America bad. They have a pastor on. Okay? And this pastor began to talk about how Trump was bad, Trump was evil, Gaza is Israel doing genocide, that Israel is murdering kids, right? Tim Bird wants us to know that Jesus said the only way one can get to the Father in heaven is through him. So if you don't like Jesus or believe in Jesus, you don't get to the Father, atheists, Jews, or otherwise. That's a special announcement from Tim. Not my topic, but that's a special announcement to Tim that he wants for everybody to know. So I helped you amplify your message there, Tim, your message. Anyway. So let me ask you a few questions. Do you think a normal pastor, right? Pastor, dickhead says, Alex is 100% pro-gun, pro-Christian, never heard left rhetoric. We're not there yet. I'm taking a poll. I told you I'm not making a judgment on Alex. Hold on. Hold your dick, horse's dick. Hold on. I'm trying to get to the bottom. I want to know what you know. I want to know what you know, but I want to do it in the form so I can understand all the comments coming in. But anyway, would it be normal for a pastor to basically say Israel is murdering children? Put it in chat, just yes or no. I'll tell you what it is. He's a Christian pastor. He's a pastor of a Lutheran church. He is a bona fide Christian pastor of a Lutheran church. Now, do you think a Christian pastor would be saying that Israel is just murdering children? Yes or no? Now, most people are saying no. Next thing. Do you think a pastor, a Christian pastor of a Lutheran church would be saying that America is evil and trying to conquer the world? Yes or no? Put it in chat, please. There's a method to my madness. Play along. Do you think a Christian pastor would be doing that? Would a Christian pastor be preaching that? Now, most people say no. Next, would you believe a Christian pastor would be preaching that America and Israel together are evil and they're trying to perpetrate evil? Would a pastor do that? I know some do. That's not the point. I know some do. I'm asking you, would a traditional, standard, run-of-the-mill, propensity of averages, balance of probability be promoting something like that? Yes or no? Would a pastor of a Christian pastor of a Lutheran church be promoting that Trump and Netanyahu are trying to take over the world? Just on averages. Do you think so? As just a general rule, would a pastor be doing that? Okay. Now I'm going to show you something because, see, this is what I'm talking about, and try to help people understand, because this is how the game is played. I told you that it is a pastor. I told you that it is a Christian. I told you his denomination is Lutheran. I told you he believes that Israel invaded Gaza and invaded Palestine and just is taking land and killing people. I told you all of that. Let me give you the rest of the story now. Here's the pastor. Now, where this pastor's church is in Gaza. So help me reconcile, because I've already done the numbers, I'm going to tell you. He's in Palestine, where the Christians have to hide out in church to not be killed, and there's so few of them, it's nuts. But this is a pastor. The media trots out to say this, and what people say, well, this is a pastor. Now, let me ask you, a pastor, do you think that's real? Do you think that's real? This is not on the Lutheran Church. This is not about the history of the Lutheran Church. This is only about, would a pastor do that, right? And Rhodes' wifey says, I feel like Netanyahu is the Antichrist. Wow. Wow. Would you want to come on and discuss that? I think that'd be awesome, dear, to have that discussion. Just between us as family here. I'd love to have that discussion if you'd join me. Put it in chat. Could I send you a link? Would you come on, dear, and let's just discuss that one issue? Now, here's my issue with this. You got an American radio station doing this radio interview, and all you hear is, he's a pastor, he's a pastor, he's a reverend, he's a pastor, he's a reverend, he's a reverend. And he does all this slamming of Trump, America, Netanyahu, evil, they're killing kids. When you look at him, he's smack dab in the middle of Gaza and Palestine, able to walk around, well-known. Christian congregants are nothing there. They literally have to hide out. But this guy's free to do media interviews and not suppressed. So here's the question. Is that window dressing? Is that psychological warfare? See, I believe it is. So when I sit back and look, and most people don't do this, it's just like I told you, you can have rock solid good people, but you have no say in their faith. You know why? Because you think if you have a say and you decide they're evil just because they're not like you, you are denying God gave everyone free will. He created that. You can educate people. You can share with people. You follow what I'm saying? What you can't do is you can't judge people on it, because then you're actually denying God. And this is what I'm saying. Before, it's about, we know who pays him. But see, I worry about this, and this is part of the defunding of NPR. This is 1,500 radio stations. Now, you know where they have most of the 1,500 radio stations? Small town America. And it's kind of what they can get. Do you see? Did she say send the link? Okay, great. You understand what I'm saying? Here it is. Think about that. Isn't that wild? And so with me, I guess I'm a perpetual cynic or whatever. I back up and I go one step further. Who is this message coming from? Who is this message coming from? Right? Hey, sweetheart, how you doing? Give me 1 minute. I'm gonna punch you in. Okay. See, we don't look at where the message comes from and even ask ourselves, is this plausible? Is this actually plausible? Because I think what people hear is this is a Christian. It's just like this stuff, this big rigmarole that Israel won't let people go into the church. The Christians go do their service. They're just not telling you the rest of the story. Israel's not letting anybody go in because the intelligence says on this Easter gathering, there's going to be major attacks to wipe out Christians. And the one that raised the red flag is a bishop for the Church of Rome calling Israel evil. And he's right there in Israel. And he says everything's evil about the Jews or whatever. And people can't see through that. They don't even investigate who it is. Now, here's the connection. Okay. And some of them say, well, it's Easter. Okay. Who would it be on? What would the story be if big Christian church leaders went to the church of Pulitzer? I always butcher that one, but you understand what I'm saying? Went in there and jihadists wiped them out. What would be the story? Israel planned to kill Christian leaders. That would be the story. It wouldn't be about the terrorist. It would be, and then it would be, well, Israel had intel that there was going to be an attack with the Christian leaders there, and they didn't act on it. They let them get killed. Then it would become, well, they set it up. They planned it. You get what I'm saying? There's no win. There's no win. Right? No win. And so people don't think around these things. Israel said, man, we're in a no-win situation. So which is going to be the lesser? Nobody goes in because we don't have the ability to protect them. But you see how the stories get propagated so they can blame the Jews. And what you think you're hearing in the media is Jews are rejecting Christians. Bullshit. Bullshit. We're going to go to wifey. I want me some Rhodes wifey. Let's get me some Rhodes wifey. Hey, sweetheart, how's it going?
It's going good.
Okay, tell everybody where you are. Give them your background real quick, and then we'll talk.
Well, what do you want to know of my background?
What are you into? Kinky stuff? No. I just really know where are you? Where you live? You got kids? What do you do? What was your profession, etc.? What part of the country you're in?
South Florida.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have a profession at one time or any time?
Well, right now I'm a home health aide, but I'm also a personal trainer.
Oh, great.
And I was a correction officer.
Ah, great.
Yeah.
Prove it. Say, get on the floor, bitch. No.
No. I've seen some crazy shit, but
I can imagine. Where's your family from? Are all you Floridians?
No. I was born and raised in the tri-state area.
Okay.
So New York, New Jersey, Connecticut.
Yeah, what exit?
In Connecticut or New Jersey? I don't remember the exit in Jersey, but it was Oakland.
Okay. See, everybody from there speaks in exits.
Yeah, so I moved out of Jersey when I was like 12 to Connecticut.
Okay.
My dad has been in California since I was 6, so back and forth between both coasts.
Okay, so the topic today that I'm going to do. We got several things to do. We talked about Alex Jones calling out Trump,
Yeah.
and it led us to that all this Jewish stuff is going on. I'm going to
Yes.
give you the floor and be quiet here for a minute. I just want to know, you posted, you think Benjamin Netanyahu is the Antichrist. Tell me about that, and tell me, where did you come up with that assessment? How did you arrive at that assessment?
As of right now, he fits the prophecies in Revelations.
Help me. You got to be specific, please.
There are wars and rumors of wars, the fall of Israel, the bombings of Israel. It's all in the Bible. And it feels more and more like Netanyahu is trying to bring about the end.
Okay. Where did you hear this?
I didn't hear this. I came to this conclusion on my own based off of everything I learned through my childhood, teenage years, and adulthood.
Okay. Tell me what, in your mind, what does it mean to be the Antichrist?
It's hard to put words to, honestly, because there's so many.
Just do your best. I want to know. Look, this is called a dictionary check, and I'm trying to get everybody on the same page. And so I'm just trying to understand, where you come from, and that's the only reason I asked that. What's the Antichrist to you? Because it's been from it's Obama, it's Hillary, it's Bill Clinton.
I don't think it's an American.
Okay.
Netanyahu is a lot younger than some of the prophecies that I heard, but he's also older. And it also says that the last generation after the second creation of Israel, it says that the generation of that beginning of that, when all that generation is dead, that is the beginning of the end. And let me
make sure I have that. When you're saying the generation that founded the state of Israel, when they're all kind of gone and dead, this is when it happened. So you mean it from that standpoint?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're getting very, very close to that point.
Right.
I've read the Bible several times. I've read the Left Behind series when I was a teenager. It doesn't fit the Left Behind series, but that's also based off of biblical, but it's still fiction.
Okay.
So
now when you say, let me ask you a question. When you say based off of biblical, tell me what you mean. Again, just a dictionary check. When you base it off biblical, what do you mean? And there's a reason I'm asking this, which we'll talk about.
I'm trying to get there. It's very early and I'm still only on my first cup of coffee. So
it's okay. There's no right or wrong answer. I just want, when you say it's biblically based, I'm only trying to find out where you come from. This is not about correcting anybody or anything, or it's not. I'm just trying to find out where you come from.
I'm coming off of what I learned in church growing up.
Right. And so when you say it's biblical, you're talking about, I just want to make sure I've got this. When you say it's biblical, and thank you, St. Thomas, thank you. Not only for that tip, but for also sending me that stuff in chat, recommending I'll look into it. So when you say it's biblical, you say, based on what you've read, by the way, are you willing to tell us how old you are?
38.
Okay.
I know I don't look it.
It's okay. In your 38 years of life, based on 38 years of a Bible, meaning, in your life, and when you look at a Bible, you think this is biblical. Now, let me.
The most important thing that I keep coming back to is there are wars and rumors of wars. There's wars in the Middle East.
Okay.
And Netanyahu seems to be the rebel rouser of all of that.
Okay. Hang on. So now we're going to split the book in half.
Okay.
You got the Old Testament prophecy and you got the New Testament prophecy. So you have one half that is Jewish from creation, basically getting into the periods where basically Yeshua comes in. Then you've got the crucifixion, which is your New Testament, which is 200 years after the crucifixion. Which one, because both of them have the prophecy, which one of the prophecies are you relying on?
I don't remember. Honestly,
Okay,
I don't
that's
remember.
fine.
I don't
That's totally
remember.
fine.
I don't remember which book because I was raised with two faiths.
What was it?
I'm born and raised a Ashkenazi Jew.
Okay.
But my
As am I.
stepmom's Christian, and
Okay.
I made the
Did that create a conflict with you? We had to hide in our family. Being Jewish was like it was a generational curse. I'm the only one that rebelled. My older sister did, but it was just you don't talk about it, you don't whatever, because people are going to say and because we were German Jews, but Nazi members, and so it was forbidden. What was it like in your family?
The hiding stopped after my grandparents passed. But it's interesting because until I was about 13, I was raised Jewish.
Okay.
The summer or Christmas vacation of my 13th year.
Did you have a bat mitzvah?
I did not. I actually made the okay, so it's a funny story. Christmas, I went to my dad's house in California and I accepted Christ.
Yes.
Openly in church.
So technically you're a Messianic Jew.
Yes.
Yes.
I made the mistake of getting home, going to my pre-bot classes, and told the rabbi that I accepted Jesus and got kicked out.
And he shunned you, yeah.
I got kicked out.
Which is shameful, but it happened.
Yeah. So no, I was never bat mitzvahed. I have not been baptized. It's interesting.
It's okay.
Because my stepmom is Christian, my dad is Jewish, my mom is Jewish.
Right. Okay. So just a few questions real quick, and I want to show you something, and I want to ask your comment on it.
Okay.
The various prophecies prophesy war, prophesy that in this coming time of the Antichrist, that it says a very large, significant part of the world will accept the mark of the beast. You've heard that, right?
I have.
Now, all of those are tied
hand
together.
Or your forehead.
Yeah, the Antichrist, etc. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little context. Nobody's going to run around and brand something on your forehead. Or stick something under your skin. So first I want to get into context. It basically means by your thoughts and your deeds. You follow me?
I do.
You will think it, you will act on it. That's what it means, your forehead and your hand. Now, in all of these prophecies of when the Antichrist, right, etc., okay, talks about wars, talks about submission, talks about they will kill non-believers, they will imprison non-believers, they will make it where you can't do commerce, you can't trade, right, unless you submit and accept the mark. They will, when he talks about they're going to rape your children, rape your, that the Antichrist is truly just freaking evil, and there's going to be wars because of it. Now, we're having this discussion because you said you personally believe, which is totally fine, that Netanyahu is the Antichrist. And I've heard a lot of other people talk about other podcasters saying that's true. I want to play for you a video. Is that okay? And this is about a pastor, a preacher, a church leader, and some of the deeds of the church leader. And then we'll talk about it. Because here's what I'm asking, folks. Here's what we're doing. And she came on to discuss this. And I'm asking what the hell is going on with Alex Jones, because Alex Jones is saying, the president's in a free fall, and he's also in a tirade about the Jews. I want you to pay attention to the next 1 minute, 25 seconds. Ready? Here we go.
Megachurch pastor with over 1 billion followers was just found in the Epstein files. He married a 6-year-old, had sex with her when...
A mega pastor with 1 billion followers. Okay?
Megachurch pastor with over 1 billion followers was just found in the Epstein files. He married a 6-year-old, had sex with her when she was 9. Her dad was his best friend and handed her over to him. He kept sex slaves and called them his property. Had a woman's father and husband killed in the same day, then took her home and slept with her that night. He handed out women and children to his staff like door prizes. He had a mother of 5.
We know we have I just want to see if we can get agreement. Guys, you put in chat. We know we have a problem with bad teachers and pastors and stuff. We know we have a problem with that, right? And we know we have corruption in the church. I mean, it's something we now live with daily. I won't interrupt again, but we all know we deal with this, and it's true. And this is horrible, but let's go on.
Megachurch pastor with over 1 billion followers was just found in the Epstein files. He married a 6-year-old, had sex with her when she was 9. Her dad was his best friend and handed her over to him. He kept sex slaves and called them his property. Had a woman's father and husband killed in the same day, then took her home and slept with her that night. He handed out women and children to his staff like door prizes. He had a mother of 5 stabbed to death in her sleep because she criticized him. He said anyone who leaves his church should be executed. He ordered the execution of over 600 men from a community that opposed him, lined them up on a trench, beheaded every one of them, then took their wives and children and passed them out to his staff. If this were a pastor in America, there'd be FBI raids, a Netflix documentary, and a whole elder board in handcuffs. But nobody's talking about this guy, because this guy was never on Epstein's island. His name is Muhammad. He's the founder of the largest cult in history, Islam. And every single thing I said comes from Islam's own sources. His followers wrote it down and called him the most perfect man who ever lived. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. This isn't ancient history. Islam is the fastest growing religion on earth. There are countries right now where everything I just described is the law, not an extremist fringe, the law.
Now, quit drinking on the job. Anyway. Is it good coffee? What kind of coffee you drink?
I don't know. It's some hazelnut thingy.
Oh, I can't do hazelnut. I understand why people like it, but I can't do it there. Anyway, and so we're having a conversation here as family because we've all been together for a very long time supporting each other. And she basically said, I think Netanyahu's the Antichrist. Now, what do you think about what you just saw?
Look, Islam's been around a really, really long time.
Yes, but the discussion is about the Antichrist. I just want to know, what do you think about those facts?
The facts are the facts. I mean, the fact is that is what Islam believes. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's good.
Right. So here we go. Let me share something with you. The prophecy, right? And some people are going to come in and say it's trace and track. Okay. And this is where people try to place it in a modern context as opposed to what's really going on before your eyes. You can't separate the Antichrist from the old prophecy or the new prophecy to try to understand what it is. To take it and put it on any one individual right now, Hillary, Soros, Obama, or whatever, I'm telling you, is something the system wants you to do. Let me tell you why. And it's just like I taught everybody long ago. People want to know you're smoking.
Cheap cigarettes.
Cheap cigarette. What brand?
Lucky's.
Lucky's. So there you go. Now people know. Curious mind, you know what I mean? And so, which is totally fine. Smoke away, dear sweetheart. Put 2 or 3 in your mouth and tell them screw you. Anyway, here we go. So the system will allow us to hate and have evil people. they want us focusing on evil people. Epstein, Soros, Hillary, whatever the case may be. Now, the reason they do that is a form of psychological warfare. You will take someone, you will identify them, and you'll take it, and you will force your anger on that person. Now, what it does is it gives you a little relief, because as a human, right? As a human, you feel satisfaction that you've assigned it to someone. It's just the standard how everybody works. However, that bit about the Antichrist specifically has to be taken in context and what was historically there, present, and being told of. And so for many people, they have this disconnect that it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And damn it, I'm not going to accept the mark of the beast. There's no way they could make me do it. The reality is, it's over. It already happened. What you have to do is you have to take all of that prophecy and you got to look at it. See, you stay in prophecy mode because you're going by the definition of prophecy. And you think here, 2,000 years later, plus, it's still yet to come. Not true. It is, in fact, prophecies of the time when all of this great information gets codified into a Bible, all the different ways, books that didn't get in, whatever get in, this is what's going to happen. And the reality is, it happened. Now, people some gets lost in transliteration, some gets lost in preaching or whatever the case may be. But it clearly states, it's people think it's going to be passcode IDs, it's going to be health passports. No, that's man being evil, man wanting control, but that is not the Antichrist. The Antichrist clearly says it's going to be incredibly murderous. It is going to butcher. Now, Islam has killed over 300 million people for not believing. Islam has killed over 300 million people thus far for not believing, and it happens every single day still. The second part of it is that it says, and that's why I played you that video, here is a guy that basically breaks every rule, does horrible things, but he is revered as the most pious and great of all, which is exactly what they say the Antichrist will be. But they tell you people are just going to accept it. And that's your conflict, because I'd never accept it. The reality is it happened. And so what I'm suggesting to you, maybe to do some research on, you can believe what you want to believe, dear. You know that about me, right?
Oh.
But it's about really trying to narrow down, what is it? What does this really mean? When I personally look at it, I see it's happened. And where we are right now is not the Antichrist is coming. We are at, wow, what really was this Antichrist and who fell for it? That's where we are. Now, if you understand from that context that we're getting more enlightened, more educated, more focused than ever, and you clearly look at the invasion in America, writing Sharia law and all this stuff, and people have to fall for it, and they think it's nice, and it's the nation of the religion of peace. That's the current falling for it. But we are at that crossroads right now. Now, prophecy says that there's going to be all these wars between these countries. Number one, they always have been.
That is true.
Now get ready. But this is the first time that a combined Jewish and Christian nation pushed back. That takes Israel, that takes the United States. Of course, you had the Crusades, but the Crusades had nothing to do Jewish standpoint. You follow?
I do.
This is the time where the world saw it and is coming together. We've always been at war with Iran. It's been going on. It's not something Trump uniquely did. although they're trying to tell you we're at war. We haven't declared war on Iran. We're cleaning up terrorists. And you have to understand what President Trump and both Netanyahu are acting on is super advanced intel of several different things they knew were in place. A lot of things I do not talk about. And the reason I don't talk about it because it would scare the fuck out of you, right? Because it is in place, ready to go. And so what I personally see in this, and this is my opinion, you don't have to have it, is we're in this, but we're at the opposite end of the spectrum. And the opposite end of the spectrum is this. We're either going to win it or we're going to lose it. And that's the holy war we're in right now. And because podcasting and all these guys, they want the stuff they can talk about and clickbait, we're leading people astray. It's here. We are living it. And that's why you have a faith of 1 billion believers that basically say, you're wrong, you convert under pain of death, or we're killing you. And that's actually what's going on. See, because it talks about the Antichrist will deceive so many, will deceive everything. Well, what's going on in our government? We actually believe a 1964 lie that Islam is the religion of peace. We're putting them in our parliaments. We're putting them in as mayors. Look at New York City. Now they have the Islamic call to prayer. People are buying into it because we've been pacified that, in fact, oh, no, that's the real, it's all a lie. But here's what's going on. They're conquering us, which is why the conflict that people have to resolve as a human, because I know what you say. When you think it's a mark on the head or you think it's a tag under the skin, you clearly say, fuck no, I'm not taking the mark of the beast. Well, obviously, number one, you personally were never meant for it. But if you understand in context, it means people will think this person is the most pious, peaceful, wonderful person forever. And they are that lie, like I just showed you, and I'll play it again. And they will accept it and then become maniacal fighting for this evil. And that's exactly what's happened. And so that's where we are. So you in this mess, it's not about, is it Netanyahu? Is it Hillary? Is it Bill Clinton? Is it Soros? Is it Obama? Was it Biden? Was it Kamala? It's fucking done. Where we all are is we've got to understand that. And when you understand that concept, you quit putting off this Antichrist is coming and you accept that it's here and it happened right under our noses. You know what you realize? Holy shit, we're in a world of shit. And what that thing does is force you to make some very hard choices of what are you going to stand for. But I'm telling you on my side, every tick of the prophecy, every tick of how many people will be deceived and how they'll infiltrate everything, it's happened. It's here and you see it every day with your eyes. So I would personally tell you, it ain't Netanyahu and it's not mere man. And that's the biggest deception of all. It's going to be a mere man. Well, let's go back and look, and this is why I'm doing a series on Islam. If you look at the life, and this is why I've got this whole series of Islam going on my locals, is so you understand this. You have something, and it was as plain as day told. So whether it be Old Testament, 1,000 years back, whether it be New Testament, 200 years after the fact of Jesus, 400 years in the future from when that was written, 400 years in the future, this guy pops up out of nowhere. Because he's of a particular tribe that was Mecca, in Mecca, they had 360 gods. 360 gods. They did have one, Hubal, right at the top, but they had this whole pantheon of gods. That tribe ended up being the ones that made a lot of money supplying food, right, to all the people that came to Mecca to touch that meteorite. That's why they do around the stone. And they realized, wow, that's connected to money. We need to connect it. So in this process, One of their members, which is Muhammad, was off by himself in a cave, and quote unquote, a jinn, this is their telling, a jinn, which is in fact a demon, appeared to him and said, here's how it's going to be, whatever. He was freaking terrified. He ran for his life. He said the jinn beat the crap out of him. He ran home to his wife asking for protection. They were trying to figure out what it meant. So his wife, who was much older than him, and she was the money. He sat at home. He didn't work. She provided all the money in trading. She was a widow. They go to her cousin. What is her cousin? Her cousin is the only Christian and Jewish scholar in Mecca. Now, what they had learned in trading is they see these great empires being built, Byzantine empires, all these different, they see these great cities, they see this great order, they see this stuff, and these are desert living people, and all they have is Mecca, and they build nothing. So the scholar says, who knows all of the traditions, all of the stuff, works with Muhammad to fashion the story into, well, this must be like when Gabriel came. And they clone virtually every story in the Bible and ascribe it to Muhammad over a period of 23 years. And then, right, because it's all about turning away from God. And then after doing that, they basically set up battlements. They set up forts. And they bring their acolytes in, the people that believe they do, and they start preparing them for war. They switch Mecca and say there is only one you pray to now. But is that God? No, it's Allah. They never mention God. Once he gets that done and he's taken over the core city of that, you would call it a pagan war with 360 gods, they begin marching out from their barracks. You know them as mosque. And they go into the cities they want to conquer. And as they conquer, they build those same barracks and fort mosque, because that's where they kept the weapons and the soldiers and planned all the strategy. And they started taking over. You accept Allah as God. See, it's all about turning away from God. Christians say God, Jews say God. You will take Allah as God. God doesn't demand that. God gives you free will. And so now we got this great honking conquering. And here we are in modern society, and it's freaking inside our governments. New York City, for God's sakes, plays on loudspeakers across the city the 5 calls to prayer, so you must kneel. And that's why they don't prosecute things. Hope you're doing okay, Rhodes' wife, or you dropped. That's why they don't prosecute things, right? And that's what's going on. So, folks, you have to understand in this concept, and I'm only giving you my forensic research on all of this, my theology studies, my vast theology library and stuff. This is it. And we're in the middle of it, and it has happened. It ain't coming. It has happened. And here we are. And so we're the generation chosen to see it. You're right. It's the same in Minnesota. It's the same in Detroit. It's happening everywhere. And you can't believe it. And you say you will do it. See, the system will let you place it on somebody because it keeps you not understanding the timeline and away from it. And it allows you to hate somebody while it goes on around you. All I would ask you, dear, is maybe think about it a little more. But I'm telling you, you have to do you believe that the Antichrist would have to have tremendous superpowers because he's empowered by the devil? It'd be somebody with like superpowers, right? It wouldn't just be a mere man, because a mere man can be killed. I'm telling you, when you understand that supernatural nature of an Antichrist and what it's to do and what it's to accomplish, I'm telling you that supernatural nature was covered under the guise of faith, and it's here. And that's why it's not a mere man or a mere woman. We have evil people and we can focus on them. But I think when the system allows us to do that, we miss the message. Does that help at all? Does that maybe give you some things you think maybe you want to research and check out?
the way you worded it makes so much sense. Honestly. I believe the prophecies to a point. They were written by man.
Mm-hmm.
They're open to interpretation.
Correct.
The Bible that we read in America has been translated so many times.
Correct.
That translations get mixed up.
And they have, oh, by the way, I'll tell folks something. Look at your Bibles, especially if you have old Bibles, especially if you have one of the King James Version, where they actually did a typo and it says only the wicked will inherit the earth. There are there's actually that typo out there. Check your Bibles. If you have one of those, they're priceless piece of history. But they actually publish only the wicked will inherit the earth. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
You're good. I never fully believed in the rapture prophecy.
Right.
Because the word rapture can be translated and taken so many different ways.
Right. Have you heard about the 4 horsemen, right? And all that
Yes.
stuff? What are the colors of the 4 horsemen? You don't have to know it. Go look at the flag of Palestine. It's the exact 4 colors. All of the nations that want to kill Jewish and Christian bear on their flags exactly those 4 colors. That's why I'm telling you it's happened. We're here.
Yeah.
We're here.
I don't believe
the rapture.
I don't believe the rapture is a physical people disappear.
No.
I believe it's a changing of the mind.
Correct.
Because there's no other.
The old will fall away, the new man will begin. It's all. That's why it says it's Sparker. That's why it says the mark of the beast is carried on your forehead and your hand. It's why I've always said this battlefield is 1/2 inch long. That's to get inside your brain. That's the mark of the forehead. The head is, do you act on it? And when you think this stuff and you act on it, you have accepted it. That's the whole thing.
I mean, I've read pieces and parts of the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
I think in order to be educated, you have to look at all.
You better believe it. You take nothing exactly on faith, and you must understand where these words come from and what they're meant. And I just did a thing comparing the Bible to the Quran. It was a number 5th installment in the series I'm doing over in Locals. It's very enlightening, but you're right. You have to do it.
And it's also very crazy how 90% of the stories in the Quran imitate the stories in the Old Testament, all the way down to Gilgamesh and the flood.
That's right.
Almost exactly.
Yes.
I did have to read this when I was in college in my early civilizations class.
Yep.
But it's interesting and
fascinating.
It's fascinating.
It's fascinating. It's freeing when you take the time to learn it and understand. Hang on, I lost control of a computer screen. I'm just trying to find it. There it is. Okay, wait. Oh, where are you? There you go. Anyway, sweetheart, thank you so very much for coming on and being willing to discuss this.
Absolutely.
I just hope I gave you some places to maybe look and find it, because it can be very unnerving. One, to think here's one person and they're it, which I think is part of the deception. It makes people think, well, it's just that one person. Let's eliminate that one person. Let me tell you why it's not going to be eliminated. You know why it's not going to be eliminated? Because God ordained it. It ain't stopping. It ain't changing. We cannot stop it. And it's here. So don't think, well, Netanyahu, and they'll let you do it. Netanyahu's the Antichrist. Every day week, there'll be another one. It ain't changing. It's happened. Anyway, I appreciate you, sweetheart.
Absolutely.
And
Anytime.
nice to see you in the flesh.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. You take care. Thanks, okay?
You too. Have a great
Bye-bye.
day.
Thank you. So, folks, it's all about discussion. I wish more people would be willing to have discussions and stuff. I want to show you again. This may help, right? Because I talked about even on public radio how bad this deception is. Here's a guy parading as a reverend, smack dab in the center of this stuff where it's not allowed, but they let him go on media tours, and NPR has him. Why? because he will say Israel's bad, United States bad, they're wrong. You do understand in the true Islamic faith, you're allowed to lie. You're allowed to lie. This is a charade. Period. This is a scam. But people hear this, or even a pastor saying Trump's wrong. That's bullshit. Let me show you this video again before I go to the next video piece. And what I asked is, I'm just seeing stuff like Alex Jones and others saying Trump has lost it. Trump is out of here. You know, Israel is bad. This is kind of nuts. But let me show you this one piece real quick.
Megachurch pastor with over 1 billion followers was just found in the Epstein files. He married a 6-year-old, had sex with her when she was 9. Her dad was his best friend and handed her over to him. He kept sex slaves and called them his property. Had a woman's father and husband killed in the same day, then took her home and slept with her that night. He handed out women and children to his staff like door prizes. He had a mother of 5 stabbed to death in her sleep because she criticized him. He said anyone who leaves his church should be executed. He ordered the execution of over 600 men from a community that opposed him, lined them up on a trench, and beheaded every one of them, then took their wives and children and passed them out to his staff. If this were a pastor in America, there'd be FBI raids, a Netflix documentary, and a whole elder board in handcuffs. But nobody's talking about this guy because this guy was never on Epstein's island. His name is Muhammad. He's the founder of the largest cult in history, Islam. And every single thing I said comes from Islam's own sources. His followers wrote it down and called him the most perfect man who ever lived. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. This isn't ancient history. Islam is the fastest growing religion on earth. There are countries right now where everything I just described is the law, not an extremist fringe, the law.
It's pretty scary when you understand it in context. And people never believed me when I said, way back when, 6 years ago, I'm saying Soros is a puppet, Soros is not it. No, Soros is evil. And then you find out when Elon comes in and Doge goes, it was Doge money funding Soros to do it. He just agreed to do it because it made him filthy rich. It was your money, our money. That's how all of this works. I don't understand what's going on for Alex, but if, you know, I told you this, I can see how a system will take him to court, say you owe $1 billion, and then say, hey, if you do this, we'll reduce what you owe. Now, I'll tell you why I know that's true. I'll tell you why I know that's true. You got to understand the history. During the Obama era, when we had Acorn and all that shit going on, Obama demanded that the banks do more minority housing. And so what are home loans? And so they set a quota. You got this percent of your loans must be minority. So the banks, under a government demand, ramped them up and just started rubber stamping them. Then our real estate market crashed. Then the same people that demanded it went back to the banks and said, you screwed up, that was bad, and now we're going to fine you for bad banking practices, which they did, Eric Holder. They fined, let's just take Bank of America, $2 billion. What the news never talks about, then Eric Holder went into all those banks they fined for billions and said, we'll give you like 3-to-1 or 2-to-1. If you don't want to pay $2 billion, then you take $1 billion or you take $750 million. And if you give it to these specific nonprofits, Acorn, which eventually became BLM and all that, if you will put that money there, we will give you credit as if you paid the government. Most people don't even know that. And that is how all of those nonprofits went rogue and have tons of money, right? And that was the start of this stuff. Now, with that said, it would not be hard to see that maybe Alex got in that spot. They seize your bank accounts. They see everything. You can't get anything financed. You're just screwed. I could see how to get out from under that debt for him and his family or anything else, right? And so he's been compromised in that way. And that happens. That happens. right? At the same time, we're under warfare, providing fuel under the guise, well, Christians say Trump are bad, Christians say Israel bad, and this is it. It's a deception. This guy's in Gaza. You can look him up. That's the war. We're in the middle of it. These prophecies are not revealing themselves. These prophecies are happened, and we're at the end game. We're not at the beginning game. We're at the end game. It shouldn't be scary because you know what it is, you know what to push back on, you know where we are in this fight, and you know it takes you speaking about it to get it done. I'm so committed to this war that I can't hide from it and I can't lie. You do understand why I did this when I was 34 years old, but the other part of it is when I face it and have to face it, I won't be able to lie, even if my mouth tries to lie. I permanently marked my body for death in their eyes. So even if I was to get to the point and fall weak, which I don't think I would, I can't turn away. I have no option. And that's why that for me was not only don't waste it, that for me was I'm in this game, even if it kills me. That is my commitment to get this fixed. Now, I basically think a tremendous amount of psychological warfare is going on. Period. I don't need you to agree with me. It is not required. I don't need you to like me or love me. It is not required. All I do is I'm going to give you facts. I'm going to give you information. You can check them yourself because it's about educating. Now, I'll give you a little piece that people don't understand because you have other podcasters. Oh, the Jews aren't the chosen people. They think they're better than everybody else. It's the Jewish problem. That's the bullshit con too. Here it is. The reality is the Jewish people were tasked by God to bring the word of him to the world. It's that simple. That's all it is. And that God is going to use the Jewish people as an example to show God keeps his word. You can believe in God. God never turns his back. See, I see it more as not chosen. It's a fucking guinea pig with an obligation. Why? Because you're always going to be called evil. People are going to always try to portray you as you think you're better than everybody else. All this other shit, which is the lie. The Jewish people were given a covenant by God. God never fails. It does not mean Jews are better. It means Jews are burdened, and they're going to continually fight that burden. And it is fighting that burden that proves the very existence of God. That's it. That's all it is. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. Right? Doesn't mean you have to be Jewish or whatever. We're all in this together. Jesus was a Jew. All the apostles were Jews. You do not have to be Jesus. That is not required. You do not have to be Christian. That was not required. You do not have to be Jews. That was not required. But the Jewish people have a long bond that you're going to suffer. And through you, it is the proving of the world that God is faithful, that God's word is true. And that's it. And we are in this together. Now, with that said, I want to play for you what some people are kind of bitching and moaning about again. It's like we can't get enough of it. All the different things were going on in our country and why these things are good and are great. Right? And are great. And we're living in amazing times. You're witnessing it, and we are, all of us together, are the chosen ones. We're it, folks. We're the chosen ones to fight this fight. Let me know when you got sound.
Thank you very much. My fellow Americans, good evening. Let me begin by congratulating the team at NASA and our brave astronauts on the successful launch of Artemis II. It was quite something. It will be traveling further than any manned rocket has ever flown and will very substantially pass the moon, go around it, and come back home from a distance that has never been done before. It's amazing. They are on the way, and God bless them. These are brave people. We want to God bless those 4 unbelievable astronauts. As we speak this evening, it's been just 1 month since the United States military began Operation Epic Fury, targeting the world's #1 state sponsor of terror, Iran. In these past 4 weeks, our armed forces have delivered swift, decisive, overwhelming victories on the battlefield. Victories like few people have ever seen before. Tonight, Iran's Navy is gone. Their Air Force is in ruins. Their leaders, most of them terrorist regime they led, are now dead. Their command and control of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is being decimated as we speak. Their ability to launch missiles and drones is dramatically curtailed, and their weapons, factories, and rocket launchers are being blown to pieces. Very few of them left. Never in the history of warfare has an enemy suffered such clear and devastating large-scale losses in a matter of weeks. Our enemies are losing, in America, as it has been for 5 years under my presidency, is winning, and now winning bigger than ever before. Before discussing this current situation, I also want to thank our troops for the masterful job they did in taking the country of Venezuela in a matter of minutes. That hit was quick, lethal, violent, and respected by everyone all over the world. After rebuilding our military during my first term, we have by far the strongest military anywhere in the world. And now we're working along with Venezuela and are, in a true sense, joint venture partners. We're getting along incredibly well in the production and sale of massive amounts of oil and gas, the second largest reserves on earth after the United States of America. We're now totally independent of the Middle East, and yet we are there to help. We don't have to be there. We don't need their oil. We don't need anything they have, but we're there to help our allies. Tonight, I want to provide an update on the tremendous progress our warriors have made in Iran and discuss why Operation Epic Fury is necessary for the safety of America and the security of the free world. From the very first day I announced my campaign for president in 2015, I have vowed that I would never allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. This fanatical regime has been chanting death to America, death to Israel for 47 years. Their proxies were behind the murder of 241 Americans in the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut, the slaughter of hundreds of our service members with roadside bombs. They were involved in the attack on the USS Cole, and they carried out the countless other heinous acts, including the just horrible, bloody atrocities of October 7th in Israel, something that most people have never seen anything like it. This murderous regime also recently killed 45,000 of their own people who were protesting in Iran. 45,000 dead. For these terrorists to have nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat. The most violent and thuggish regime on earth would be free to carry out their campaigns of terror, coercion, conquest, and mass murder from behind a nuclear shield. I will never let that happen, and neither should any of our past presidents. This situation has been going on for 47 years and should have been handled long before I arrived in office. I did many things during my 2 terms in offers to stop the quest for nuclear weapons by Iran first. And perhaps most importantly, I killed General Qasem Soleimani in my first term. He was an evil genius, brilliant person, a horrible human being, however, the father of the roadside bomb. And he lived just horrible what he did. Iran would have been perhaps in far better, stronger position. Had he lived, we would have had probably a different conversation tonight. But you know what? We'd still be winning and winning big. And then very importantly, I terminated Barack Hussein Obama's Iran nuclear deal, a disaster. Obama gave them $1.7 billion in cash, green cash, took it out of banks from Virginia, D.C., and Maryland, all the cash they had. He flew it by airplanes in an attempt to buy their respect and loyalty, but it didn't work. They laughed at our president and went on with their mission to have a nuclear bomb. His Iran deal would have led to a colossal arsenal of massive nuclear weapons for Iran, and they would have had them years ago, and they would have used them. It would have been a different world. There would have been no Middle East and no Israel right now, in my opinion, the opinion of a lot of great experts. Had I not terminated that terrible deal, I was so honored to do it. I was so proud to do it. It was so bad right from the beginning. Essentially, I did what no other president was willing to do. They made mistakes, and I am correcting them. My first preference was always the path of diplomacy, yet the regime continued their relentless quest for nuclear weapons and rejected every attempt at an agreement. For this reason, in June, I ordered a strike on Iran's key nuclear facilities, an Operation Midnight Hammer. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Those beautiful B-2 bombers performed magnificently. We totally obliterated those nuclear sites. The regime then sought to rebuild their nuclear program at a totally different location, making clear they had no intention of abandoning their pursuit of nuclear weapons. They were also rapidly building a vast stockpile of conventional ballistic missiles and would soon have had missiles that could reach the American homeland, Europe, and virtually any other place on Earth. Iran's strategy was so obvious. They wanted to produce as many missiles as possible, and they did, with the longest range possible. And they had some weapons that nobody believed they had. We just learned that out. We took them out. We took them all out so that no one would really dare stop them. And their race for a nuclear bomb, a nuclear weapon like nobody's ever seen before. They were right at the doorstep. For years, everyone has said that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. But in the end, those are just words if you're not willing to take action when the time comes. As I stated in my announcement of Operation Epic Fury, our objectives are very simple and clear. We are systematically dismantling the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders. That means eliminating Iran's Navy, which is now absolutely destroyed, hurting their Air Force and their missile program at levels never seen before, and annihilating their defense industrial base. We've done all of it. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their missiles are just about used up or beaten. Taken together, these actions will cripple Iran military, crush their ability to support terrorist proxies, and deny them the ability to build a nuclear bomb. Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion. As we celebrate this progress, we think especially of the 13 American warriors who have laid down their lives in this fight to prevent our children from ever having to face a nuclear Iran. Twice this past month, I've traveled to Dover Air Force Base, and it's been something. I wanted to be with those heroes as they return to American soil, and I was with them and their families, their parents, their wives, their husbands. We salute them, and now we must honor them by completing the mission for which they gave their lives, and every single one of the people, their loved ones said, please, sir, please finish the job, every one of them. And we are going to finish the job, and we're going to finish it very fast. We're getting very close. I want to thank our allies in the Middle East, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, Kuwait, and Bahrain. They've been great, and we will not let them get hurt or fail in any way, shape, or form. Many Americans have been concerned to see the recent rise in gasoline prices here at home. This short-term increase has been entirely the result of the Iranian regime launching deranged terror attacks against commercial oil tankers in neighboring countries that have nothing to do with the conflict. This is yet more proof that Iran can never be trusted with nuclear weapons. They will use them, and they will use them quickly. It would lead to decades of extortion, economic pain, and instability worse than we can ever imagine. The United States has never been better prepared economically to confront this threat. You all know that. We built the strongest economy in history. We're going through it right now, the strongest in history. In 1 year, we've taken a dead and crippled country. I hate to say that, but we were a dead and crippled country after the last administration and made it the hottest country anywhere in the world by far, with no inflation, record-setting investments coming into the United States, over $18 trillion, and the highest stock market ever, with 53 all-time record highs in just 1 year. It all positioned us to get rid of a cancer that has long simmered. It's known as the nuclear Iran, and they didn't know what was coming. They've never imagined it. Remember, because of our Drill Baby Drill program, America has plenty of gas. We have so much gas. Under my leadership, we are #1 producer of oil and gas on the planet, without even discussing the millions of barrels that we're getting from Venezuela. Because of the Trump administration's policies, we produce more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. Think of that, Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. And that number will soon be substantially higher than that. There's no country like us anywhere in the world, and we're in great shape for the future. The United States imports almost no oil through the Hormuz Strait and won't be taking any in the future. We don't need it. We haven't needed it, and we don't need it. We've beaten and completely decimated Iran. They are decimated, both militarily and economically and every other way. And the countries of the world that do receive oil through the Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage. They must cherish it. They must grab it and cherish it. They can do it easily. We will be helpful, but they should take the lead in protecting the oil that they so desperately depend on. So to those countries that can't get fuel, many of which refuse to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, we had to do it ourselves. I have a suggestion. #1, buy oil from the United States of America. We have plenty. We have so much. And #2, build up some delayed courage. Should have done it before. Should have done it with us, as we asked. Go to the Strait and just take it, protect it, use it for yourselves. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done, so it should be easy. And in any event, when this conflict is over, the Strait will open up naturally. It'll just open up naturally. They're going to want to be able to sell oil because that's all they have to try and rebuild. It will resume the flowing, and the gas prices will rapidly come back down. Stock prices will rapidly go back up. They haven't come down very much, frankly. They came down a little bit, but they've had some very good days over the last couple of days. We've done actually much better than I thought, but we had to take that little journey to Iran to get rid of this horrible threat. With our historic tax cuts, where people are just now talking about receiving larger refunds than they ever thought possible, they are getting so much more money than they thought. That's from the great big beautiful bill. Our economy is strong and improving by the day, and it will soon be roaring back like never before. It will top the levels that it was a month ago. I've made clear from the beginning of Operation Epic Fury that we will continue until our objectives are fully achieved. Thanks to the progress we've made, I can say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong. In the meantime, discussions are ongoing. Regime change was not our goal. We never said regime change, but regime change has occurred because of all of their original leaders' death. They're all dead. The new group is less radical and much more reasonable. Yet if during this period of time no deal is made, we have our eyes on key targets. If there is no deal, we are going to hit each and every one of their electric generating plants very hard and probably simultaneously. We have not hit their oil, even though that's the easiest target of all, because it would not give them even a small chance of survival or rebuilding. But we could hit it, and it would be gone, and there's not a thing they could do about it. They have no anti-aircraft equipment. Their radar is 100% annihilated. We are unstoppable as a military force. The nuclear sites that we obliterated with the B-2 bombers have been hit so hard that it would take months to get near the nuclear dust, and we have it under intense satellite surveillance and control. If we see them make a move, even a move for it, we'll hit them with missiles very hard again. We have all the cards, they have none. It's very important that we keep this conflict in perspective. American involvement in World War I lasted 1 year, 7 months, and 5 days. World War II lasted for 3 years, 8 months, and 25 days. The Korean War lasted for 3 years, 1 month, and 2 days. The Vietnam War lasted for 19 years, 5 months, and 29 days. Iraq went on for 8 years, 8 months, and 28 days. We are in this military operation so powerful, so brilliant against one of the most powerful countries for 32 days. And the country has been eviscerated and essentially is really no longer a threat. They were the bully of the Middle East, but they're the bully no longer. This is a true investment in your children and your grandchildren's future. The whole world is watching, and they can't leave the power, strength, and brilliance. They just can't believe what they're seeing. They leave it to your imagination, but they can't believe what they're seeing, the brilliance of the United States military. Tonight, every American can look forward to a day when we are finally free from the wickedness of Iranian aggression and the specter of nuclear blackmail. Because of the actions we have taken, we are on the cusp of ending Iran's sinister threat to America and the world. And I'll tell you, the world is watching. And when we do, when it's all over, the United States will be safer, stronger, more prosperous, and greater than it has ever been before. May God bless the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much, and good night.
Here we go, folks. I just wanted you to see that. Many people might not have watched it last night, right? You're right. It's not a war zone. It's not a war. It's 32 days. But all of this is using to smear President Trump. All I'm asking people to do is don't fall for the rhetoric. That's it. And I have to question a lot of people that are falling for the rhetoric. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me. Thank all of you. When you take the time to come on and we can talk, I think it's great. People learn that way. People can see it. We're all in the same boat. I just want to let you know I love you. We're all in the same boat. God bless you for your support of everything we're doing. Don't forget the series we put out on the Great Deluge if you like understanding the history of the world. And I did this because I cannot imagine what Alex is going through or what Alex is thinking. But I do know we're under warfare when they put up fake priests in the middle of this war zone where the Christians wouldn't be to begin with. It's all too crap in our craniums. It is. Okay, and I'm going to remind you, you will not see me live on the air through this remaining part of the Easter holiday, but we have a lot of great programming coming for you. I love you.
Our courts are based on clear and convincing evidence. Want convictions? Want justice? For what happened in the 2020 election? Then we need your help. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The decision you make in the next few moments could decide whether we ever get our elections fixed or not. Here's why. Trump campaign and allies filed 64 different lawsuits. They all went down in flames. 100% of these cases were presented on "It's the machines," or "The machines changed the votes," or "The voting company executive said he would make sure Donald J. Trump would not win." They all went down in flames. Why? You can't bring theories to court as evidence. No supposed Zoom call or six-degree polynomial math theory or census data is or ever will be proof of fraud. You can't bring theories to court as evidence. Here's why. In both civil and criminal law, the side making a claim carries the burden of proof, and prosecutors must prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Without physical or otherwise verifiable evidence, a case cannot meet this high threshold. Physical evidence is the key. The question is, did anyone get relevant, reliable, provable, testable, and duplicatable evidence of what really happened in the 2020 general election? And the answer is yes, absolutely. The full forensic audit of Maricopa County, Arizona is the only evidence-gathering work which gathered relevant, reliable, provable, testable, and duplicatable evidence of what really happened in the 2020 general election. Evidence so damning that the system, the deep state, and those who pulled the strings of this country have fought to keep it hidden and have hoped to have it be forgotten to time. Almost $3 million invested in time, funds, and efforts to unlock that which the system wanted hidden. But now, that evidence is in danger of being lost forever. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then we need your help. Please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. With the 2026 midterms coming up, the system is going to try to lame duck President Trump and then most likely introduce new impeachment proceedings. This is the evidence which will help win the war which is surely to come. We need to keep Maricopa County full forensic investigation and archive secure and ongoing. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then we need your help. Please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We need your help securing the full forensic audit archives. Don't allow the only testable, objective, and reliable 2020 election evidence fall into obscurity. Millions were spent on getting it documented and tested. This is historic evidence. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County full forensic audit archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We can't do it without you. We need you. America needs you. Our future needs you. Please donate now. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. Please donate now.